Aloha, my name is Annette Hugh. I am the granddaughter of George Fernandez. I had the pleasure of taking care of my grandfather in his final days. And we spent a lot of time trying to show him how much we appreciated having him in our lives. We would drive the Kula roads, and he would mention all of the homesteads and talk about the different bridges and things that he did while working for the territory of Hawaii. There was this one particular day I spent with him, and he told me the story of the Lilibagas. The Lilibagas are the 1,500 jacaranda seedlings that were planted along the Kula Beltway. When Grandpa was born in 1911, he grew up right next to Pukolani Superet. The old home is still there today. His mother had already had 4 children. Sadly, my grandfather's father died in 1917, so George was 6 years old. Grandpa went to school only until the 3rd grade. He could not see very well and he could not hear very well. With his handicap, he was left to ride the buggy when my great-grandmother, she was a cleaning woman, and Grandpa would ride in the back of the buggy and see all of the other kids running off with their kaukautins to school to learn, and he couldn't. Back in the time when Grandpa was a youngster, your opportunity was to learn to be a laborer. So eventually, George married Helen, and they had 4 children, and he became a territorial cantoneer, which today would be our Highways Department of Transportation State Highways Division. My grandfather's overall superintendent was Alan Burdick, who in the 1930s lived in Makawao. He traveled to Brazil on vacation and saw the majesty of the jacaranda trees. In coming back home to Maui, he set out to have the jacaranda trees become the reality of the Kula byways, initiated the seedlings being planted in the territorial nursery in Waikapu. Grandpa said that he remembers the number being 1,500 lilibagas, and they were in little silver cans, not much higher than 3 feet. Those trees were brought to Kula, spread out among the Kula Beltway, and planted by the road cantoneers. Of course, being as little as they were, and the weather being so unpredictable, Grandpa knew that somebody had to volunteer on the weekends to water the trees. And because he appreciated Mr. Burdock giving him the opportunity to support his family, he volunteered to water the trees, often with my grandmother's permission and encouragement to go, George, and water the trees. So my mom and her 3 sisters would jump on the truck with Grandpa and make the roundabout to water the seedlings. Many of those seedlings are those that we enjoy on the Kula roads today. And like I said, the jacaranda trees are majesty on their own. It's just magical. For me, it was Grandpa's struggle, and that he touched that young life, those little roots. He touched those roots, and that I can walk under those jacaranda trees today, and with the blossoms, he says hello to me. I think that it's magical. I my grandmother died when I was very young, and when she died, I lost a piece of me. Grandpa lost his mother and his wife within 3 months of each other. So Grandpa knew hardship, but he grew up to be a man who raised his 4 kids. He traveled around the world. I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself and wait for somebody to do something for me. In fact, I'll do it for you and be happy to do it for you. That's what, Grandpa. And you look up Grandpa in the dictionary. That was Grandpa. And for me, I thought, what could I do for Grandpa because of who he was to Maui, because of who he was to me. So I decided to check into placing a bench, and I chose the spot at 5 Trees because King Kekaliki is there. And Grandpa was raised a stone's throw from King Kekaliki. He could easily walk to school and rest upon his bench and learn. And as the school children would walk through 5 Trees, maybe they would ask, who was George Fernandez? And they would learn his story and see how beautiful overcoming hardship can be. Because the jacaranda trees of Kula is a part of Maui that has grown to become worldwide through paintings, through the love of flowers, through the roots that bind us all. There are many, many people involved in the work that gives us the beauty of Kula's jacaranda. So it's a part of Maui and her people and who we are. We are losing so much of Maui. The loss of Lahaina is unbearable. But come to Kula and let the jacaranda trees remind you of the beauty of Maui and its people, and take care of each other and be strong for each other and love your family. Make new friends. So thank you for your enjoyment. Thank you for taking the time to learn about Grandpa. And most of all, look at his life and see the example and know that no matter what, one foot in front of the other, one hand to the next hand can bring success and beauty in life, no matter what. So thank you for taking the time, and please enjoy the jacaranda trees of Kula.